Hi, good morning everybody. It's so good to see you and welcome to our August Sew Fun presentation. My name is Laura Kendall and I have been the Sew Fun manager for 25 years and it's a job that I love. I work with the best people in the world. But I've got some really exciting news. I mean, we are so thrilled. We're going to go live in stores beginning next month in September. We've been waiting for this for 18 months. Every store will have a mandatory or a maximum amount of customers that can come to any presentation. You will need to sign up. You can find the dates and the times in our new catalog that just mailed this week or on our website where you go to, I had to write notes because I can't remember all the time. You go to classes, then on the far left column is sewing classes and scroll down to Sew Fun. And then you're going to see all the dates for September, October, and November. So make sure you sign up because they are mandatory for registration. That's actually the case for all of our in-store events coming up beginning in September. The What's New classes and machine usage classes and other classes as they get scheduled. But for those of you that can't be with us live, never fear. We're going to continue with our Facebook Live presentations. They'll be at the end of the month rather than at the beginning, but you'll still be able to get the same great content from the two educators that are providing their wonderful samples. And I can't wait for you to see all the stuff they've got here today. It's so great. You can always remember, go back and look at any of our Sew Fun presentations. They are to be found on our website, on Facebook, and also on our YouTube channel. So you can go back and look at those anytime you like. I gotta say, my consultants are beyond excited to be able to see you guys again. It's going to be so wonderful to see live people reacting to what we're sharing. So I'm going to turn this over to Linda and Naomi, and they're going to share with you all of their fabulous samples and ideas and techniques. See you soon, guys.
Hi, I'm Linda James, and in addition to what Lori said, I wanted to tell you about during our presentation today, we're giving away 3 door prizes. They're to be entered into the into the drawing for one of the 3 prizes. All you must do is like, comment, and share. Also, there will be 3 additional door prizes to be chosen from customers that post a show and tell in the comment section after the live presentation has ended. So make sure you get pictures ready to send in to us. And now Naomi's going to tell you a few things.
Hey everyone, how's it going? It's been a while. I think January was the last time I was here. So like Linda was saying, make sure to like, share, or comment so that you can get in for those prizes. So let's get rolling. So the first thing I'm going to talk about today is the little magnetic box right here. It has on the front, get to the point, and when you open it up, I have a little hand sewing needle there so you can see, but you can store like your sewing machine needles. This is also dry erase board, so you could put a needle in there and write next to it what type of needle that is so you don't forget what it is. And it comes in 3 colors. We have the teal, the pink, and the pink one says needle little love, mouthful. And then this one says stay sharp. Now I want you to be aware, this color is called navy, but to me it's more like a dark teal color. So if you like this color, it is called navy. So we have the 3 options here. The first thing I'm going to talk about today is what I'm wearing. And so this is the Romy Sweatshirt. And I have one over here too. I'll step to make it a little easier so you can see it. And so here's the pattern right here. And it comes in 28 sizes. When I tell you this, as long as I've been doing Sew Fun, this was the easiest apparel pattern I've ever made. It came together so quick. I used my serger to do all the sewing. This one has a cuff on the bottom. This one does not. And it has cuffs on the sleeve. And then this neckline is great because you don't have to worry about it sewing it down. Like it just lays flat. And the material I used was, this one was like a knit sweater, and this was a lightweight knit. And I really like the long length because you could pair it with leggings and then maybe put a belt on here. And it's just a cute little outfit. It's got these fun little bat sleeves, gives you a little more room, and it's not tight. It's very loose and friendly of all of our curves. So I'm going to pass this back over to Linda, and she's going to come right over here and talk about the sweater too.
I didn't do a sweater. I used a jersey knit and kind of a big print, but when you put it on, it works out. I did not put a cuff on the bottom, and there are cuffs on the end of the sleeves, obviously. And this neckline, it has its own facing, so you don't need to use any kind of extra stitching on the edge. It just rolls over and it stays right in place. So the next one we have is the jacket I'm wearing. It's the Tremont jacket. I did this out of lightweight denim, and I used my Sashiko machine to do the accent stitching on the jacket, on the hem. I don't know if you can see that. And instead of a button, I used an Asian coin and purchased cording from the fabric store, and I did a scrolling application and sewed that on, and just looped it through the coin. The coin had one of those holes in the middle. So a little different, gives it kind of an Asian flair.
And who's the pattern from? Can you?
Yeah, it's Sewing Workshop.
Perfect.
Went together really fast and easy. So that's the Tremont jacket.
That's awesome. I love the material you used. It's very flattering. Okay, the next one we're going to go into is called Stand Tall by OESD, and it's an embroidery design. And this is all about pineapples. If you love pineapples, you're going to love this embroidery design. So, I think the hardest thing is trying to make sure we're doing something different and we're not always just stitching the same things. So this time I went and I put it on, I stitched it out on canvas, and then I framed it. And then I also took another design and put it on this cute tote bag, because we're gonna get back into having to use our totes here again. So start making some more grocery bags. And this design stitches out great. It's dense, but it's very, it stitches all the lines very neatly, and I love their stuff. So I'm gonna let Linda talk about how she used this design now.
Okay, I made quite a few things. First one I want to show you is my pillow, and I used a heavy linen for the center where I did my embroidery. I backed the entire piece with Shapeflex 101, and then I used a tearaway stabilizer as well, and finished it off with this cute pineapple fabric. So that's the pillow. And then I did a chef's apron. Same thing with the tearaway stabilizer. And on this kind of fabric, it stitches out really well. I also made a tablecloth using all of the designs. And I did this on, it's a rayon tablecloth. It's what I had. It was a little more difficult. I think cotton fabrics are easier, but at any rate, I used the black OESD fusible cutaway stabilizer underneath of these, because as Naomi said, they're quite dense. And and the design. Here I used my mirror image on my brother machine. So I flipped, after I did one, I positioned the next applique and did the mirror image. So that's how I got that. And then I've got these designs all the way around the tablecloth, the different ones that came with the pattern. Okay. And this was the, program that we used. Okay. The next one I'm going to tell you about is Pink Sands Beach Design Tote Bag. Beach Tote Bag. Yes, it's called the Fiji Tote Bag. I did the bag with the same fabric that I made my jacket with. I also used a darker denim and a black to give some contrast. And this is a home deck fabric. If you're using home deck fabrics, you have to be very careful because these have to be pressed somewhat, and home deck sometimes has a tendency to melt. So, you saw that? Okay. Where is it? I put a little cord inside my bag to hook a carabiner to so that I can put my car keys inside the bag. But anyway, that's the Fiji tote. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk to you about, this is exciting. Margaret Douglas is one of our customers. She's our first giveaway. There's two different patterns here. Let's see if I can take this off. One is called Dasher Mug Rug, and that is 7 by 10. The other is the Snowman Trio, and it's a little 5 by 11 applique. So those two patterns are for Margaret Douglas, and you give a call to the store.
Message us on Facebook?
Oh, okay. Message us on Facebook so we know where to send.
Store and phone number.
Oh, with the
Store name and phone number.
Okay, store name and phone number. Okay, so those are from Margaret Douglas.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations, Margaret. Oh, hey, your lights are on, Margaret. Attention, your lights are on. No, I'm joking. I'm a dork. I'm sorry. I've been inside my house for a little too long. I'm sure none of us are facing this, right? The next thing we're going to talk about, well, first, let me go back here. We had a question about the stand tall. Most of the designs in this were for stitch counts. They were probably around 25,000 to 35,000 per stitch out. There were some that had a little bit more, some of the bigger designs, but so about 25,000. I think this one was around 30,000 stitches. So just, you know, think about that in your time, and sometimes I pick less colors so I can do less changing of threads. The next item we're going to talk about is the Quilt As You Go. And this is a June tailored, right here, you can see it. And it has 3 designs in it, and we have provided several designs right here. And let me tell you, Linda was going to town on these, and this is the one I made. I did some batiks. I tried really hard this time to do fabric from my scraps. So here's, and then I just did a solid on the back, and then I did the binding and hand stitched around. And I will say, I'm excited because Linda's going to talk next about this, and then she's going to do a demo on these. So make sure to hang around and watch that demo. It should be a lot of fun. And here's Linda to talk about the bibs.
Okay, I have a brand new great grandbaby, so I kind of went a little overboard on baby things this presentation. These, as you see, are pieced. Mine are a little, I expanded on the design as it's printed because I wanted to maintain the fabric print. So this is a little bit larger square than the one I'll do the demo on. Same thing with this particular one. I wanted to maintain this design, so I took up more of the area that there might have been another color. Mine have, I used Velcro on the back and other juvenile prints on the back as well of each of them. Okay. I think this one has something like that. And when you have a fabric that has, like, this had like a border print that I wanted to maintain, so I altered these areas slightly so that I had the print the way it's supposed to be shown. Okay, so now we're going to go do a demo on that. Okay, I started out, I did the first two so that you could see how it goes together. That's number 2. The one I'm going to stitch is number 3. And if you look close, you'll see that I cut my I was using scraps, and I cut my fabric without paying close attention. So Mr. Frog has he had his arm reattached. So anyway, you put it on here, and you don't have to be exact. It's lines or guidelines. So I'm going to stitch from one side to the other. And I creased it a little bit because I wanted to kind of know where I was stitching. And then just stop there. And then you flip that one up. And then the next one is number 4, which is down here. So I'd put my fabric right along there, stitch it, and flip it over. And then you follow the number 6, then or 5, then 6, then 7, 8. So it's all printed. So all you have to do is do each of these in sequence. When you get done, you trim around the edges and then apply your bias tape to the edges. This kind of shows you what it, now here's the, I guess I sewed through that one, shows the other bib that's up there. So they come 3 of these in the package. So it's great for a gift because they go together very quickly and they're fun. So that's our June Taylor baby bibs. So now, whoop, excuse me. Now we're going to do the Kimberbell. It's called Little Sprouts.
Before you go on, there's 2 questions. What is the blue stripe for on that pattern that you were just showing?
I think it's just, it's the, you mean this line, if you mean this dark line, it's for a test, I think, for the company on the batting, and then that's what they use for the stitching line on the bib itself. This stitching line, this fabric was over this way. I stitched, flipped it this way. Then there was a stitching line, well, you can't see, here. Put it wrong side there, stitch it, flip it over. Same thing with this one. You can't see it. The stitching line was like this. I stitched, and like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then you flip it up. Then you go to, next one is number 4, and there's a stitching line, as you can see here. So you're going to kind of free feel for what you're doing there. Stitch it, flip it down, and then go on to the next, which is 5. And there's your stitching line over there. So you kind of you can kind of judge where you place your fabric with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, stitch it, and then flip it over. So I hope that answered that question. So we'll go back to Kimberbell. This is so cute. It's called Little Sprouts Baby Appliques and Burp Cloths. And I was really excited about this because there were so many different applications that you could use this particular program for. I started out, well, I'll show you this. This is kind of my answer to a picture for the baby's bedroom. First, I did samples of the different stitches on muslin so I could tell what size they were, and it helped me with my placement. I made my background fabric. I pieced in a strip of green from a grass. This was dirt. I backed the entire piece with Shapeflex 101 for stability. And then I appliqued this sun up here, did some decorative stitches out. So then I used tearaway stabilizer and sewed each one of my little designs where I wanted them, the bees. This is the only one that I had the words that accompany each of these designs, and I left it on there, and it says, I was meant to be. Now you'll notice that I've got a tree and some flowers here. Those actually aren't part of this program. They're part of the Boulevard Kimberbell program. So if you want to use the trees and flowers, you could look for that program. The lights are the fairy lights, let's see, that we have. They're Kimberbell fairy lights. There's a set of 2 in each package with 20 lights per string. And they're battery operated. So when I got ready, I used an awl, a sewing awl, to poke the holes through the fabric and the canvas, and threaded the lights around into each of the designs. And then I just tucked the battery pack in, and you can see it's easy to get it on and off. These are used on the pillows that Kimberbell does. So anyway, that's my garden picture and the fairy lights. The next items that I did the baby bib. This was just a pattern that I found on the internet, but I just really loved this, and it went well with the Kimberbell onesies. This is the pattern for In the Hoop burp cloth. Burp now or forever hold your peas. And I just thought that was absolutely darling. That's the size it comes out in the hoop. It's a little small, but it's cute. This is the other onesie that I did with, it's called Bugs and Kisses. This one's Cuddle Bug. The Kimberbell onesies come in 2 different color combinations. The one is the gray, the other is the peach, and Naomi will tell you about that. Then I did 2 toddler shirts. I bought them at the store and did the applique on both of them. Inside the applique, because I didn't want it scratching, I used the Tricot fusible, and it covers the back of that pattern so that the baby doesn't feel scratchiness. So anyway, that's our t-shirts, and Naomi will tell you about hers.
Thank you, Linda. Okay, so let me get this back up here one more time so you can see this. And I don't know if you saw the back side of all the amazing designs in here, Kimberbell. If you've done Kimberbell before, you know how amazing their stuff is. They also have, we've brought these in before, but we loved them so much we brought them in again. We've got the Kimberbell blanks, and these are the baby bodysuits, onesies. And they do come open, or they do come with one side open. And I left this open so you can kind of see. It's easy to get in there and do your embroidery, and then you just sew it up. And then you have a completed onesie. And another reminder, this does come with a lot of different size options, but if you're looking for a specific size, maybe it's in between two sizes on your machine, you should be able to increase or decrease the size a little bit. And so this is the I'm One in a Melon. Thought that was really cute. And I don't have any babies in my life, so I need to find someone who has a baby in their life and give this to them. Sorry, Mom, no more babies. And then the other option here is you can make little cards. So bugs and kisses. And so I didn't put any paper on the inside because I wanted to show you. This is what the inside will look like. And then you can take a piece of cardstock and cover it up. And then I recommend using a heavyweight stabilizer. And I see one little thread that I didn't cut. Now for the fairy lights, what I did, you know, if many of you know me, I'm Scan and Cut. I love Scan and Cut. So I have this lantern that is, I believe this lantern was free on the Brother Canvas Workspace website. And I used the fairy lights inside. And so I'm going to take it apart and just show you how I did it. So if you flip this, and I'll just pull it out. I put some little Velcro on this and on the top, and then I can just stick it to the top, and then it just hangs in there. And this, I want to show you how that is one. So you get a nice length here of little fairy lights. And then it has a little switch, and then the batteries are like the little batteries right here, on your, what am I thinking? On your car fob or your watch, or yeah. So you can easily replace the batteries. And then I just kind of Velcro it back in. And it's not pretty because I'm just doing like that, but then you can kind of see what I mean. I have other Velcro in there that I kind of get other points Velcroed.
So do you know how long the batteries last?
I do not. Let me see if it says on here. It does not say, but we can look into that. It has, I know it has 2 batteries in there, so I'm assuming it's going to last for a while. So I'll look into that and I'll get back to you. I don't want to slide. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go over to the Scan and Cut, and I'm going to show you a little demo on this little file right here. Okay, so we've got the little sprout, and I put it on a USB stick, and this file doesn't have a SVG, a cut file, but I want to show you something that it does have. It does have the PES file. And what we are going to do is, if we go to Retrieve Data, and we go to the USB, and then we find it, so it's Little Sprout, and it's going to show PES files, and then it's going to bring up all those files. Now remember, keep in mind, these are not cut files, but we can kind of turn them into cut files. And so what we'll do is we'll grab one. So let's grab the little worm, and it says, you know, there he is. And so I want to show you right here, if there was a cut file, you would tap this button and it would take you to one. But this doesn't have a cutting line data. But if you go to this one with the little flower, and you click on that, it's going to tell you the size. So I'm just going to leave it and click OK. Now it's going to have 3 options here. It's going to have the first one where it cuts, it's going to show all the different lines. The middle one is just the outline, and the third one is like a stitch line. But if you click this little button right here with all these colors, it's going to break it apart even more. So if you were going to do the applique and you wanted to cut your piece out, you could go in here and you could try to find the best possible one. So maybe this one, and then click OK. And then right here it has them grouped together. So I'm going to ungroup it and hit set. So you'll see right here, it kind of has two different pieces and I can pull them apart. So I'm going to use this larger piece to cut my applique piece out, and I'm going to just delete this inner piece. So then I'm just going to go select it, edit, trash can, okay, and then I've got my little piece. And then if you're familiar with your scan and cut, all you have to do is click OK a couple times, please select, and go to cut. And if I had something loaded to cut it, I could cut out that little guy out of fabric. And then when I go on my embroidery machine, it'll do the stitch placement line, and then I can stick that fabric piece right there, and I don't have to trim off the excess fabric at the end. Okay, and we're gonna go over to talk about one more thing over here.
Naomi,
yes.
Customers asking, where did you get the pattern for the lantern?
So the pattern for the lantern, I believe I got it from the Canvas Workspace, which is the free software that the Scan and Cut has online. I would go on there, you can search, and I'd put in lantern and see what pops up. I got this a few years ago online, but if you don't see it, let us know and I'll do some more digging. Okay, the one we're going to go over now, sorry, frog in my throat, Kaylie Handbag, and here's my version. And so with this, I did home deck fabric with a cork fabric down the middle. In the pattern, she talks about two different hardware options. This one is called Jewel. I believe Linda did the icicles one. And then on the inside, I just did a cotton quilter's fabric. And there are so many pockets. And it's a perfect size for your wallet, your cell phone. And that's all you need to go buy fabric, right? So this right here, very easy to make. It was fun to kind of mix it up and do different materials. And once again, a must for me when I make purses or handbags. I love having a zipper at the top so stuff doesn't fall out. And Linda is going to talk about hers.
It isn't going to stay.
It doesn't want to.
Okay, this is my version of the Kaylie handbag. Again, like Naomi mentioned, I use the icicle findings. You can get those online. I use the black and silver cork fabric. And this kind of tweed fabric is actually a quilt fabric. It's called Essex, and I don't recall what manufacturer, but you can find it if you just go into the computer and put in Essex fabric. I did mine a little bit different when it came to the lining and the top part. I lined mine with a rayon jersey kind of fabric print. I kind of like having the jazzy inside. And then the pattern says to cut this portion that you attach the zipper to out of the same fabric as your lining, and I didn't want to do that because I thought it would detract from the top part of the purse. So I cut separate pieces. And I backed that rayon with Shapeflex 101 so that it had some body to it because it's very, very soft and silky. So anyway, that's my version of the Kaylie handbag. I think it turned out Very cute. Okay. So then the next one is, oh, we're going to do the wefty. Okay, we've got, it's called, there's a wefty needle package. There's 2 different sizes, and there's a large needle. I think it's about 1/2 inch, and the other one is 3/8, something like that. And we have 2 different designs, different patterns. There's the woven star variations, and this one is the woven diamonds. And there's many different suggestions on the back of the pattern for making pillows or totes. So I'm going to show you mine. The first one I did, this is the size of the main weaving that she talks about, using a foam board. And the foam board I used was the small 1/4 inch hem foam board. I'd suggest using a thicker one for this in the future, but this was the size of the weaving, and this is the woven diamonds, or woven star variation. I just made it into a table topper, so I finished it with the same fabric on the back. The next one that I did was, I did an eyeglass case that I found, and this was using the woven diamonds variation. I found the pattern online and just use a Velcro closing. So that's a different look, and this is using the smaller of the 2 needles. The stars are using the larger needle. And then the next one that I did was, and we'll tell you about the travel laundry bag, but I used the same pattern of the stars and extended the length that she suggests you cut to make it go all the way around for the size I needed. Okay, so I think Naomi's going to show you hers and then do a demonstration.
Thank you. Okay, so wefty. So let's go over, first, we're going to go over the woven diamonds. And that is this pillow right here. And it's like you can see the tumblers, kind of. And many of you know, me and my Minky, you know, I say it's a 2-sided pillow. You've got a beautiful piece of artwork, but if you want to put your face on something softer, you've got the Minky you can turn it around on. So yeah, this is the side my dogs use, and this is the side everyone else sees. So they don't get drool on this side. So went with just kind of a rainbow theme here, and did an invisible zipper at the bottom. This one went together, well, I will say it was my first weaving project I've ever done. There's definitely some learning with it, but it was a lot of fun. I'm hooked now, and I plan on making several more, and I am going to do a demo on this. But first, I want to show you this one. This one's called Woven Star Variations. And hopefully you can see the stars right in here. And they're just all over. And then invisible zipper with Minky again, because it's just wonderful. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over here and I'm going to do a demo on it, and I'll talk more in detail about how you put this together. So let's go right here. Okay. So here is kind of how you make it. And I am going to have, I want to show you this. This is the Quilter's cut and press. And you can use this to make this. It is slightly small, or this is slightly smaller, but there are so many patterns out there that you can use the large and the small wefty needles with. So you can, for some projects this will work perfect. And actually I found once I was done with this, I just scooted it over and then I ironed it using my cut and press. And it makes a great traveling partner when we do start having those classes back in person. So you're not waiting around to use the cutting board. Okay, so here is my board. And what they have you do is they have you take a regular board, foam board, and you draw lines on it, and you're going to do 30-degree lines, and then you're going to have some vertical lines also. And they say anywhere you can do 1 inch or 2 inch, and I went with 1 inch. And then you're going to take SF 101 and put it down first with the fusible side facing up. Now this one was the diamond pattern, and so with this one, just a reminder, so the diamond one, I'm making a matching pillow, so then I'll have 2 of the same. So she has you place all your solid color, in this case, my black ones, you do it vertical, and then you're going to start inserting and you're going to start weaving. And so I want to show you, and hopefully you can see this. So I've got pinned right here, and you're just going to pick a color. Let's go with green. And I already started off with these 3 colors because with this one, you're going to do the same 3 and then repeat the same weaving process. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to have it with the wefty side up and just feed it through. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my red one and say I need to copy that because I've set it up. So I'm just going to go down, and I will say if you find that sometimes your needle gets stuck on the fabric here, don't worry about it. Sometimes things shift a little, but at the very end you can pull all of the strips of fabric tight before you press it with your iron. So don't worry, things shift a little, but it's okay. So now I'm just going to keep weaving. Every now and then you get caught. And you just, I'd love to see some gals make this because I'd like to see what colors everyone would use. Okay, once you get it all the way through, you're going to pull your needle portion out, and then I've been using this technique a lot lately in my life. Then you're going to floss it into place. And I just kind of get it bumped right up against there. If, like I said, if some of these lift up a little, you can pull it a little tighter. And then what I do is I just pull this to the end, grab a pin, place a pin there. You're going to place another pin on this end. And then here at the end, you're going to have these tails. You're not going to worry about that just yet. You're going to use up all of your strips as they call for, and then you're going to go back and trim these off and finish weaving that section.
So Naomi, I have 3 questions.
Yes.
The first is, how did you make your strips? Like, did you buy the strips like that, or were they made like that?
Okay, so I made the strips. I cut them down, ironed them, and you can see like this side. So I ironed them to the center. So I did make these.
The second is, why are there so many holes in the needle?
Okay, so sometimes if you're using smaller pieces of fabric, you can put different sizes in there. I'm not sure exactly why they put so many, but from my understanding on videos I've watched, you can put different widths of fabric. And I don't have the small one in front of me, but the small one's the same way.
And then finally, where did you get your foam core?
Okay, so I got the foam board from, where did I get it from? Hobby Lobby. And it's kind of a little bit nicer than like the dollar store. It's pretty thick and it's durable. You're gonna get little holes in it, but you can reuse it. So that's where I got mine from.
And then your strips, were they cut on the bias?
No, they were not cut on the bias. Perfect. Okay, so then the next step to do is just to pick your next color and then start weaving again. And once you get all of these done, you will be taking the remainder of your black ones and you're gonna, so we're weaving from the bottom right corner and going up at a 30-degree angle. Then you're gonna do the black ones at a 30-degree angle from the left corner and go up. And that's how you get kind of that diamond and tumbler look. So if you see here, there's diamonds, and then if you turn it, there's more. So they all look like diamonds from different angles. Because if I had just left it like this, you'd have those big gaps right there. So you're gonna go this way, and then you're gonna go this way, and then you'll have a completed pillow. But I will say this, when you're finished with this, double check it, like always, unpin it and slowly move it over to your ironing board or like your cutting press, and you are going to iron this with steam. So you're just going to take your iron and you're going to press it and then it's going to stick and you can move it as freely as you need. And then you're going to sew. I just did a straight stitch around the outside, and then I did end up serging it before I sewed it into making a pillow. So there is the wefty, and I'm going to go over one more thing, and that is another giveaway. Woo, right? We need more free things in life. So we have the quilted holiday tables, and this goes to, and I'm sorry if I pronounce your last name wrong in advance, Gail Dehert, I'm going to spell it Dehnert, Gail. You are the winner of this book. Perfect time. Christmas is around the corner. I know it's hard to say that, but it is. So please go on to Facebook, message Quality, and tell them what store and your phone number, and we'll get this sent to you. And I'm going to pass it over to Linda, and she is going to talk about, or no, sorry, I have one more thing. Never mind, I lied, I'm joking. I'm going to talk about the laundry bag here. So I'm going to set this to the side. Just joking. Okay, so we have the laundry bag, and it's called the Travel Laundry Bag. There's the back. I'll show you the front. And with this, my goal this time, like many times, is to try and use up my scraps, and so that I can eventually then buy more fabric to fill my space. But with this one, I use cotton fabrics, and then I had leftover mesh. I know none of us out there have any leftover mesh from another So Fun project maybe, but if not, let Quality know, we'll get you some. And then I use canvas on the bottom. Now it does have this little hardware right there to slide the pull tag. And I want to show you the inside real quick. She is all about finished seams. So you will either make a lot of bias tape or buy bias tape, and you'll see how she has you finish it. And then she also has you kind of do a French seam almost, where you hide all these edges. And so you end up with this really cute laundry bag. So there's one, and then the next one I made. I like to throw clips, apparently. This one, same techniques, canvas on the bottom, quilter fabric, lots of bias binding. And I will say one of my favorite features is this handle right here. You can hook it on a doorknob, or you can put a hanger through it and hang it up in a closet for a kid to throw all their stuff in. But I will say this, I don't care how many of these you make, your husband will not be able to put his dirty clothes in here because it will be in a pile at the bottom. That's just, it's life. We have to get over it. So here is my second one, and very similar to the first one. And I'm very excited to see if my kids train my son to use it. So I'm going to hand it over to Linda now, and she's going to chat about this and do another little quick demo for you.
Okay. Well, I showed you my red, white, and blue that used the wefty to make this bag. It's a little bit larger because of the size, but I think it turned out really cute. My bags are, I've got two different bags, same kind of hardware on it. And what I did was I wanted a little more stability in the bottom. So in the craft store, I found this plastic by the embroidery floss, and I just put it in the bottom. You have to roll it around because it kind of grabs that net. But I put it on the bottom to give it more stability. I've got this stuff with plastic bubble stuff to give it shape. So anyway, when you hang it on the doorknob, then it kind of has some shape to the bottom. I figure if my grandkids use these for swimming suits and throw wetsuits in, it would turn into a big long wet bag. So with that plastic, it helps hold it in place and the water can drip out. And this is quilt fabric on the bottom and home deck fabric on the top. The ribbon trim was actually a piece that I had from some towels that I bought, and they tie them up with decorative ribbon, and I save all of those. So that's what this is. My other bag, my tropical bag for granddaughter, same thing. I used the plastic inside to hold it in place, and this is just canvas fabric on the bottom.
Are the bags, do they come in different sizes, or is it all one size?
It's all one size, although in the case of my wefty bag, it's a little bit longer because of the size of the weaving. So if you use a longer piece of fabric this direction, you can make a longer bag. So yes, you could make it bigger, kind of custom the bag yourself. The next thing I wanted to show you is some of these we used cotton cord with, and some we used the nylon type cord. I found this particular cord at the craft store in the jewelry section. It's a nylon cord, and what I liked about it was that they had a wide array of colors. I didn't want to use just the beige cording for my tropical bag, so I got this, and I want to show you how you can finish that cord so that it has a almost like a shoestring effect to the bottom. You don't have to tie it that way. I did on this, as you can see. I tied it, but I also I melted the ends so that it's finished, because inside of this cord, to keep it round, it's got these nylon strings. So what I did was I pulled the strings out quite a ways, cut them off, and then you can pull the cord back out again. And I used my barbecue lighter. Hope the smoke alarm doesn't go off. And just melt that a little bit, and it's all done. It's not hot, so I could go like that and kind of pinch it a little bit. it finishes off that cord. You don't have to tie a knot if you don't want to. So that's my laundry bags. And the next thing we're going to show you, I'm going to go over here. It's called Stirrups and Stitches Silhouette Hoop Collection Designs. And there's, I think, 3 or 4 different designs. We have Love, Joy, and Hope. The one I did, I used Blue Batik. And Naomi's going to do a demo to show you how you do these. So I'll let her take over.
Thank you. Okay, so we've got the hoops. These are the easiest gift giving idea you can do. All it takes is you take your own piece of fabric and you iron this black piece to it. It's that easy. I did, now they're all identical. I did the Hope one. I'm like, they all look the same. So I did the Hope one here, but we have several, like she said, several different options here. So let's go over to the iron. I'm going to show you also how this looks. So hopefully this isn't too blinding. If I can, how do I turn this on? Little button at the bottom. Bam! It's on. Okay, so I hope I don't blind you guys. So look away. Okay, now look. So you can see that when it's hanging in a window, you can really see it showing through. No. And this lamp, this is a daylight lamp. It's the Halo Go Portable LED lamp and magnifier. It's on regular $130, on sale for $99. And let me show you this. So if you have a hard time seeing stuff, you can really zoom in on it. Woo. But I love it because you can unplug it and you don't, and take it with you, so you don't have the cord, like you're tripping on the cord. So now I just picked a piece of fabric and I've got the word joy, and it comes with just a piece of paper you're going to take off the back. And you slowly take it off. There we go. And then it's not sticky, but it definitely is, kind of has a rubbery feel to it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to place it kind of in the middle here. And then I'm going to iron it. And it has a lot of great instructions here. And it says for 3 seconds. So now I'm just going to press it. Okay. And this has steam, so if you need a facial, it's a win-win. Okay, so now it's stuck on there. It was that easy. So then all you have to do is, everyone does this a little different. Some people like to cut it before they put it in the hoop. I tend to like to hoop it and then trim around it, so I make sure I am not cutting myself short. So I'm just going to eyeball it here. Maybe I should put the correct one down first. There we go. Nothing like live. Okay, so hopefully I open this enough. And then, let's see. So I could have centered it a little bit better, but those things you can adjust. So at this point then, I take my pinking shears and I will trim around it. And then it does come with the little suction cup and the little chain, and you can hang it up. Okay, and then let's see, am I talking? I have to look. I can't get too far ahead of myself. Okay, so Linda is going to talk to you next about the first book, Playful Pre-Cut Quilts, but first we have a question.
I have a question about what kind of fusible did you use on the back of the woven pillow?
I use that for the back of the pillows. I use SF 101. I just use what they recommended in the pattern, and I found that I tried it without steam, and it stuck, but it didn't stick as well, and once I used steam, it worked great. So I encourage using steam with SF 101. Okay, and now, giveaway. Linda's gonna do a giveaway, I think. Nope. So Linda's going to talk to you about the Playful Pre-Cut Quilts book.
Okay. Our next book is Playful Pre-Cut Quilts by Amanda Niederhaus. It has 15 projects in it, and they are all absolutely darling. Each project in here can be used with a variety of fabrics. You can use Halloween prints and use it for that season. Hearts or flowers for Valentine's or spring. Christmas fabrics. So each block is very versatile. The first one I want to show you is, I did look it up. It's the hearts. Oh. It's called Scrappy Hearts, and you use 5-inch pre-cuts. So either you can buy pre-cut packets or you can cut your own fabric to make those 5-inch squares. In my case, I had 2 packets of floral fabrics that wasn't quite enough for this particular pattern, so I had to augment it with my own. So you can see the pattern shows you how to cut those pre-cuts, sew the little squares on and flip them and press, and that ends up making your heart block with your half square triangle in the bottom. And I backed it with just a pretty gray fabric. The next one that I did was the garden quilt, Garden Cat. I used the block from the Garden Cat quilt program, and I decided I wanted to make a garden flag. So I used the one block, I extended it around with extra fabric. Again, I use my Sashiko machine on my cat because I like to use it as much as I possibly can. The eyes are yellow buttons with black acrylic paint for the eyes. And I use the Sashiko for my spider web. And then just made a sleeve on the back to insert the flag, the garden flag. Then the next one I did, I had extra cats. I didn't. Anyway, so I decided to do wall hanging. These 2 are calicos, as you can see. And again, I used the eyes and turned it into a wall hanging. And my quilter did an amazing job with spider webs and little spiders. So anyway, that's my Playful Pre-Cuts. And that's Amanda Niederhaus. And now Naomi's going to show you hers.
Thank you. Okay, so for the pre-cuts, let me tell you something about this book here. In this book, it's pretty much, let's see, I wrote something down. It's very good. So the book is based on 12-inch blocks. And pretty much what you can do is you can take any block and you can make it into any craft, any quilt that you want to. I mean, you can really get creative with all the options she offers. And I also did the cat right here. So I did the block, and then I paired it with some half square triangles. And then I did my quilting in the embroidery hoop. I just went online and I found a design, and it's kind of probably hard to see, but let's see if I can get you close. So I don't know what works for you, my dear. So there's little spider webs and spiders, there's bats, And this was all done in my embroidery hoop. So just a reminder, especially when it comes to those small projects like this, and if you don't want to do grid quilting, you want to do something a little more creative, embroidery hoops. It's a great option. It probably took me about 9 hoopings, but it's stitched out so quick. I mean, each hooping only took like a minute to stitch out, but I swear it takes me longer to hoop it sometimes than it does to stitch it, but it's the end result you will be happy with. And then this one right here, this one is called the 3, so this is the 3-block table runner, and it's 19 by 48. Let's see. And this is the Rise and Shine block. So right here, the Rise and Shine. And I've got little pinwheels with sashings. And, you know, I was going to tell a story with a different quilt, but I'll just tell this part of the story. In June, my long arm quilter retired. So what did I have to do? I finally pulled the trigger and I went and bought a long arm quilting machine. So I've only had it for a few weeks now, but I've been quilting like crazy. And this one I quilted on the long arm, and it has this fun flower design on it. And then I did some pieced backing. And this one went together, once again, very, very easy. This author, she's very thorough on her patterns. Very easy to understand and read and not get confused. And then the last one is over there in the corner. This one's called Newport Beach. I'm hiding. And so let me figure out where I want to stand. Okay, come here, cat. Okay, so Newport Beach. And with this one, you can see the block right here. And I paired it with reds, orange, yellow, and a pop of green to get the opposite side of the color wheel. And then I can't let you down because this was my only large quilt that I made. I had to put Minky on something for all of you. So I quilted this on my long arm and I just did meandering. And I'm very happy with the results. This was my this is my second Minky thing I did on my new machine. But the colors on this, I do like a lot of colors, but I'm definitely more blues and purples. So doing something like this, getting out of your comfort zone and really making something fun. And then this one is 64 by 78, and it's made with all scrap pieces I had. And now I'm going to talk about Countdown to Christmas. Okay, so Countdown to Christmas, right here. This one, I know, it's August, once again, why are we talking about Christmas? But in reality, it is really right around the corner, and that's a little scary. It's like, oh, why didn't I start back in June or January? So with this one, you're gonna have lots of Christmas options. Let's see if there's a good picture. So if you like wreaths, this has a great wreath. You can see 2 different styles here between me and Linda. The one I made right here, I ended up putting the bow on it. And, oh, let me tell you this. This one has, let's see, 576 2-inch squares. So, if you like little squares, this is the wall hanging for you. Use scraps from my stash, and then I quilted like this circle design on it, and then the back I just pieced it together with some of the fabrics I used. And then I did put the bow on with a safety pin because I want to be able to remove it when I wash it. Something I thought about after, you know, that afterthought, a good option for this if you don't want a bow but you want the bow look, before you quilt it, maybe do an embroidered bow on it or a applique bow, and then that can just stay on it. You don't have to worry about it getting smushed when you take it down and box it up.
Naomi, there was a question that came in. They want to know, what kind of batting do you use on your quilts when you do Minky on the back?
So the batting I use for my quilts with Minky, I've used a couple different things. I've used Warm and Natural and Hobbs. So one of those two are kind of what I've used. But I will say, talking to a lot of people who quilt with Minky, it's typically, you can use almost any batting. It's just depending on how much warmer you want the quilt to be. So if you use like a wool, you know, between the wool and the Minky and the top, it's going to be a pretty toasty. But you might need that depending on where you live. Okay, so this is what happened when I found out my my long arm quilter retired. I was working on this quilt, and it's called Tree Farming. And I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do? Like, who's gonna quilt these for me? And so I had all of these trees, little blocks, ready to be put together into the quilt. And I'm thinking like, how is this gonna happen? So I ended up saying, you know, I'm just gonna make a couple options. So I made a table runner, and then I just did plain backing, and then I made a wall hanging. And actually I made this, it'll fit right on my door going out into my studio, so then I can hang it there during the winter time. And then I made 6 placemats. And I did the quilting with my walking foot. I did a shattered look design. And I will tell you this, I still have 50+ trees sitting at my house. So I'm probably gonna make a smaller quilt now that I know who's gonna quilt it. But no, I'm very glad we did this. I did this, and those trees will not be lost. They will find a home. And then I also took one of the quilt patterns in the book called Christmas Welcome, and I liked the borders on it, and it was this, and I turned it into a table runner. I just did ho, ho, ho. And then the backing, I quilted this with my embroidery machine. Oh wait, no, sorry. I quilted this with the long arm. There's a couple things. I kind of mix it up. I like to show embroidery machine quilting and long arm quilting, and then walking foot. You know, change it up. But this one is an ornament design. So just because you look at a quilt and you're like, oh, that's so big. What am I going to do with that? I don't have room for it, or maybe you only like a certain feature. Take that feature and make it into your own fun design. And then I'm going to pass it over to Linda, and she's going to talk about the Christmas book, Countdown to Christmas.
Okay, again, Countdown to Christmas, and you saw Naomi's Christmas wreath. This one is my Christmas wreath. I didn't want to do a bow because I thought it's going to get crushed, and I thought it just won't look good. So I opted to leave it without a bow, but I added 8" sequins, and I did a French knot on each one to hold them into place. Mine is overall quilted, and I just used a plain muslin on the back. And it's 46 inches square, so it can be used for a table topper or a wall hanging. And because I wanted to use it more or less for a table topper, I didn't want something big and bulky to get in the way, so you could set things on top of it and not tip over. The next one that I made is called Tiddlywinks, and it's traditionally known as Drunkard's Path pattern. The author has suggestions in it for either buying templates to use, or there's let's see if I can find it. They show templates that you can make yourself with clear plastic template sheets. I didn't want to do that. It's okay. I just want to get it done. So I bought some templates, 3.5-inch acrylic templates. And it has an overall quilting. I don't have a long arm, so I have a quilter in Spokane, I have a quilter in Olympia, and a quilter in Puyallup. So they all get to do work. So it's rather plain on the back, but I did this purposely because I can put this side up on my bed and then layer another quilt on top of it, perhaps for a different season. So the neutral fabric works well for that. The next one that I did in the book is called Tussie Mussie, and it's going to be a table runner or a bed runner. And this one also has a suggestion in the book for the template that you can purchase or make your own. And anyway, that's what I used for the back. The instructions were really clear, and things went together well and made for nice projects. The two demos that I'm going to do, the one is going to be, and I said to someone, well, everyone knows how to do French knots. And they said, well, not necessarily. So I'll do a French knot for you. And that's what I use to hold these sequins in place. So traditionally, when you're using embroidery floss, there's 6 strand, and you split it down to 3. In this case, because I want to make sure those sequins stay on, I used the full 6 strands, and I'll set it down here. So you take your needle, put your needle through the fabric, come through the sequin, and fairly close to the sequin you do 3 loops, and then try to go a little ways away from where you came up through the fabric so that it does hold, and pull that down through, and there you have it. And there's a nice big French knot, so it'll hold your sequins from one year to the next, and you won't have to go to the store and buy more. So that's that one. And then the next one I want to do is the block for the Tiddlywinks. It's the curved block. I did one that's done, so you can see what it looks like. And then I'll show you how you get to that point. The next step, you take both pieces and you fold them, put them together and fold them and press with the iron so that you can get a location place. Pin it there. Then the next step is to take this corner and bring it around and pin it. You've already got your center pinned, and do the other side. Then start stitches. And then, and this takes a little getting used to, but it's, if I can do it, anybody can do it. 1/4 inch, go around to that center pin. Lift your foot so that you can reposition. Oh, good. The pin came out. That's what I was trying to avoid, so that it would go smoothly. Okay. Again, pull that around, line it up with the edge of the fabric, put your foot down, and I do back stitch because I don't want those coming undone. And then, and I'll press it out and show you. And there you go. And I can't remember how, I counted how many patches went on the Tiddlywinks quilt, and it was similar to the wreath a lot. This is 81 by 81 inches. So 3.5 inches, multiply it out. I was doing these forever. Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a giveaway here. Linda's gonna, or I can do it, or whatever. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see if I can mess up this person's name. That's my specialty. Okay, so we have our third and last giveaway for today. But remember, after this, make sure to put your pictures, put them in, and put them on Facebook after this video. I had to think. And then Monday at noon Pacific time, we'll be drawing 3 more drawings. So this one is an easy point and turner, and this goes to Judy Lynn. And this is the prize. So Judy Lynn, make sure to message us your store and your phone number, and we will get this to you. And then Linda and I just want to say thank you for watching us today. We really appreciate it. We can't wait to see you back in person. Anything you want to throw in?
Well, I hope you have as much fun making your projects as we did making them. It was fun to have so much variety to show. It's always a challenge to know what to present. And I'm still new at this, so I'm kind of shaky. So you have to bear with me, and I appreciate that very much.
Oh, you're doing great. You really are. Well, once again, reminder, So Fun September. We are back to in-person, so make sure to sign up online. We do have limited amount of space at each location, but we will be offering the Facebook Live at the end of the month. So either way, you can come and you can see us and ask questions, and we can't wait to see you. Have a great day. Get out, enjoy the sun, and we will see you very soon. Thank you.